So I finally read The Road to Serfdom by F.A. Hayek, and I'm going to say right on the offset, I do recommend it. It's not the greatest book in the world, but it is a fantastic book to read. It is written by F.A. Hayek, a great economist of the Austrian school, well respected by libertarians and many conservatives. And this was actually, it's rather interesting because he is known for his economics, but he's also, like, his best known work is The Road to Serfdom, which is much more political than it is economic. He actually says at the very beginning of the book, this is a political book, not an economics book. It is written in a very academic manner, so it's a bit difficult to read if you've never read anything like it before. Of course, it was written right after World War II, so it's written for its time, and it was written for a British audience, but was later translated in the sense of a few things were changed for the US version. Of course, things like this country was changed to Britain in the text, but overall there's not too much of a difference there. But it is a fantastic book. It is basically a critique of collectivism and socialism. I guess more specifically socialism, and not just Soviet Union communism, but we're talking about any kind of socialism, whether it be international socialism or national socialism. And in fact, this was, since it was right after World War II and the Soviet Union was considered kind of an ally at the time, he does not spend too much time on critiquing like the Soviet Union specifically. He figured, why drum up, why publish this great treatise as a critique of the Soviet Union? I'm going to focus on World War II, which was fresh in everyone's minds. He's going to focus on Nazi Germany and that type of authoritarian socialism. So that's what it is. It's a critique of socialism in general, and, well, central planning in general, in regards to economics, but also politics. And when he writes this, he is focusing specifically on Nazi Germany because of the fact that it was relevant throughout history. Like, it was the most recent thing, and everyone was still recovering from this. But when he constantly refers to Nazi Germany, he's not just critiquing fascism, but critiquing any kind of socialism as a whole. So it is very focused in that manner, but very broad in that you can apply the arguments to any kind of socialism. And that's why it's such a fantastic book, that it is pretty much just a collection of arguments against central planning and collectivism. This is something that, oddly enough, was rather well received in Britain, but had to be, was rejected by the first three publishers in America, because America was not really much of a fan of his works, of that kind of book. But it did get published, and it became very successful, and there's a good reason for that. It was a fantastic book. I read the definitive edition, which is like volume 2 of the collected works of F.A. Hayek or something, so there's a lot more to it. Like, the actual Road to Serfdom is roughly half the book, because it includes loads of other things, and I love those kind of books, so just for reference, that's out there as well. But yes, I do recommend it. Bit difficult to read for the average person, but I do highly recommend it, especially to strengthen your own arguments against the authoritarianism that is like central planning and socialism. But let me know what you think in the comments section. If you have read this book, like the video if you enjoyed, subscribe for more, and thanks for watching.